Today is Wednesday, February 24th, for the record at 7 p.m. This is a Nashville Town Council agenda meeting. I want to thank everybody for coming on such a brusque night, but it looks like most of the storm is past us now, and we'll move on from that point. We've got 3 items to consider tonight, then the planning board will meet after we meet. Item number 1 is a public hearing to receive comments on the consideration of request for an application for a permit for the street event for the annual Nashville Blooming Festival to be held on May 4-7, 2016. And in the package that you have are all the applications and the insurance statements and the route to follows and all these sorts of things. Let's see if there's, does anyone from the general public have anything to say for or against this issue? Anyone from the council have anything to say for or against this issue? Okay. There being none, the final decision on this was made at our regular meeting on Tuesday night. The second item is a public hearing to receive comments on consideration of request to amend the zoning ordinance requirements for protest by deleting section 1844 protest. This sounds kind of oddballish, but it's driven by state legislation, which has changed the way we have to change our laws for persons who wish to address zoning issues. Does the chair here does anyone from the general public have anything to say for or against this issue? Anyone from the council?
Mayor, the only thing that I see in here is the wording itself is changing, deleting protest and inserting bonding. Is that the only?
No, there's 2 issues. One,
Okay, bonding is one issue.
bonding's one issue. That's the next one coming up.
And then protest.
Protest is how people approach the council for zoning issues. You know, before it had this very complex statement there. It's been all lined out on this last page.
Right.
Okay, that's all gone. Now it's left up to the discretion of the town to determine how we want people to approach us with zoning questions.
Okay, so leaving it up to us.
Yes, it's up to us now.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Okay.
So we have more latitude now.
In controlling how people come to us for zoning issues, yes, yes. I assume that's latitude. Okay. Any further comment? Okay. Again, this issue will be resolved at our meeting on Tuesday night. The third item is a public hearing to receive comments on the consideration of request to amend the zoning ordinance requirements for bonding requirements by amending the bonding percentage required for estimated costs on required infrastructure and improvements. This too is driven by a legislative change at the state level. Heretofore, persons involved in a subdivision building had to have a bonding level of 150% for infrastructure improvements. Now that's been dropped to 125% by state law, so we have to move our ordinances to say the same thing.
So the state is dictating we have to go to 125.
Yeah.
The rationale was that 150 was too stiff, or we don't know the rationale?
I don't know what the rationale is.
Probably was no rationale.
Oh, well, I'll reserve my comments. Does anyone from the general public have anything to say for or against this? Anyone from the council? Okay. If not, we will consider ourselves out of public hearing, and these issues will be decided at our regular meeting next Tuesday. Okay, we're down to council comments. Mr. Taylor?
No comments. Well, the only thing I need to let the council know that this year I will not be in town for this year's Blooming Festival. I have had a scheduling conflict, and normally I would just say the other conflict I do without, but they have my money, so I think they're gonna have me too. So I will not be here for this year's Blooming Festival.
I recommend you follow your money.
I'm following my money.
Okay, good. Mr. Taylor?
No comment from that.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Hinton?
I'd like to thank Joanne and Amy for their continued work on the Blooming Festival. It probably would not happen but for you. And also Friday night, Nash Arts will have dancing for the arts. And my understanding it's sold out, but it's a really fun event. And you might want to check to see if there are any available tickets, right, Amy? Okay.
It's already sold out.
Anyway, Larry was in it last year, right?
I was in it last year, and I'll be back making a, I guess you want to call it a guest appearance.
Yes.
But Miss Hinton can dance, people. She's got some swagger with her.
I just hope I don't have the big one. Anyway, Brian danced last year too.
Yes, ma'am.
And, the year before that, Jamie
Right,
James.
Jamie.
And the first year was what, 10,000? Yeah. And last year was about 17,000, so it has been a really good moneymaker for Nash Arts. And hopefully, Friday night, we can bring in some more. Anyway, thank you.
Would you like to further advertise?
I don't think we need to because we got it sold out.
It's already sold out.
Hey, Mr. Coleman?
I just want to announce, with the chamber sponsoring this, Thursday, March the 3rd is the Distinguished Citizens Award Night at the Art Center, I believe at 6:30. So just everybody come out for that possibly can, as we every year honor somebody that's outstanding from the area. And also on the 24th, the chamber is hosting the second annual Shrimp Bowl. We have tickets for that. Going to be at the community college, and I believe Doug Sauls is going to be catering it. We're going to have music and then beer tasting through Nashville Community College's brewing and fermentation program as part of the ticket sales. So
Tasting only?
we will have 6 different types, and that will be tasting, and then we'll have a cash bar available as well in addition to that. So yeah.
Okay, I was just wondering if I need to bring my own. A shrimp bowl requires more than a taste.
Well, we will have 5 different types to taste, 5 ounces each, so you'll have a lot to taste.
Oh, well, okay. That'll fit pretty good. Other comments? One note of sadness, I guess all of you know by now that Warren Evans, our mayor, died this morning, about 1:30, I understand. And his arrangements are slowly coming together. And right now, the visitation is going to be Saturday at 1 o'clock at Nashville Baptist Church.
I thought, did they change?
They've changed it.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
everything's on Saturday now.
I'm sorry.
It's going to be at 1 o'clock, the visitation will be at 1 o'clock on Saturday at Nashville Baptist Church, followed by the service. And the interment will be at Forest Hills. Should anybody want to come. Meanwhile, just drop by the house because they're waiting for people to show up. Anyway, the mayor was with us a long time, and he was one of the town rememberers. If you need to know anything, you can ask him. He could remember things back to 1840. It kind of worried me because we lost 2 of the rememberers this year, and I'm afraid we all move into the rememberers range now. It's sort of dangerous. But anyway, I'm sure the family will appreciate your prayers. Okay, with all that being done, we'll adjourn to let the planning board take over for their meeting. Does the chair hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved to second to adjourn. Any question, any comment? Any discussion? There being none, all in favor indicate so by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. We are adjourned.